Today's Tech Talk is all about the Tiger Baku-Baku lure from Shimano. The lure comes from 45 grams up to 100 grams, so we'll call it a light to medium size Ingetsu style lure. Has good reflective tape on the sides, mylar on the skirts, rubber skirts, and really strong hooks, making this an ideal lure to fish hard on the sand, or also up high in the water column when fishing workups or when fish are feeding up in the water column. The way we attach our fluorocarbon leader to the hook on the Baku-Baku is with a uni knot to the solid ring. Okay, so that leader slides through the head, slides through the skirt, and attaches there. One of the great design features about the Baku-Baku lure is it has a rubber stopper, and this is a unique feature to the Baku-Baku. So when you go to drop this lure down, what you do is you can pull it up, give it a pull, and then now that skirt's attached to the lure. So when you're dropping this through the water column, if you get a bite, the lure skirt, the hook set are all attached to the lure. It saves it from, if you're dropping it and that lure skirt comes away, potentially the head could get hit, and you'll miss the hook up. So that's a great feature. You've got that little rubber stopper, so when you tie it all up, push it in and pull it in, and then the whole system can drop in one piece down. So a lot of the time this will hit the seafloor, puff up a bit of sand or silt, and then a snapper or bottom feeding fish is going to drive straight into it. And the great thing is you know that the hooks are actually attached to the lure head. So a really good feature there from the Shimano Baku-Baku lure. To attach our braid to our fluorocarbon leader, there's two knots that we mainly use, the FG knot, or we put a little Benimi twist loop on our Oshia or Kawariki braid, and then a Yucatan knot to attach the fluorocarbon leader to the loop knot. If you want to learn more about those knots, we actually have those in this video series, so check them out. So when working Ingetsu style lures, it's really important to have the right rod and reel to match the lure. The Ingetsu system from Shimano is fantastic. It's all been designed to get the best out of these lures. Right, so let's get fishing. We've got a little bit of a drift there. So what we're going to do is we cast down sea. It's really important to fish these lures vertical, so you want them straight up and down. So you can either have a sea anchor like we've got down there at the moment, you can have like a Minn Kota trolling motor to slow the drift down, or if it's a really calm day you can just drift naturally. The great thing with the Baku-Baku lure, they come in 4 different sizes from 45 grams up to 100 grams, so you can pick a lure size to match the speed that you're drifting. So once we hit the seafloor, it's just a gentle sort of winding motion, sort of quarter to half winds, and so we're just gradually winding that off the bottom. As we wind, it's sort of a jerky motion. The rod tip moves at the same time, and all it's doing is just puffing those skirts as you wind up. You start getting bites, you want to keep the same jigging motion going. Don't strike it because the little hooks will just pull out of the mouth. Keep winding, and then once you actually then start getting bites and the rod tip starts loading up, all you're going to do is just speed up your wind to set the hooks and load the rod up to keep the hooks in there. The great thing about the Baku-Baku lure, when it is dropping, it does shimmer, and you've got that reflective tape on the side of it, on the head, which is can be really good for getting a bite on the drop. So a fantastic lure also when you're working in those workup situations. Oh, I'm getting a bite now. We're into it. You can see on the sounder over there, that fish actually come up and took it on the drop. And that's the beauty of having that little rubber stopper keeping the skirts fixed into the head. But the great thing about the Baku-Baku lure, you can get really nice small heads. So, if you can slow that drift down and those nice little heads with the light leader, 16 pound up to 25 pound fluorocarbon, it's a really natural presentation, and you get a lot of bites. So a fantastic lure. And here we go, our rewards for using the Baku-Baku. Absolutely beautiful lure and so easy to use. You need to have one of these. Adios.